Hey again, it's Joey. It's Friday, so yay. Back in the truck. Figure we'll talk about a couple of things as far as options are concerned, and one or two concerns slash gripes I've found about the truck so far. Nothing major, and honestly, partially probably user error at the end of the day, but I've got to look into it. I guess we'll start. The problem I've noticed is the Android Auto with Samsung. It's a little flaky sometimes. It seems like sometimes it doesn't connect quite as well as it seems like it should. It also I don't like that it kind of locks you out of your phone when you use it. When you turn it on, it makes your screen go to just like an Android Auto splash screen that you really can't do much with. I think there's another mode of it where you get this like big clunky option screen where the buttons are giant and it just doesn't really move very well, but it kind of locks you out of your phone, which, I mean, I know you got a lot of functionality through your phone on your screen, but I still just want to look at my phone for a second, and then you got to unplug it and take it out of the USB port, which is funny because I'm on an S8 now. I just switched the other day from an S6, and my S6 would let me basically alt-tab my phone back, with the bottom left button. You could actually minimize the menus and go back through the apps you have on your phone that are open already. Can't do that with this one. It's not into it. So that's one little complaint I've noticed. Again, that's possibly user error on my part. I'm still screwing around with it to see what I'm missing or if I am missing something. But that was my only real complaint I've had. Other than that it doesn't fit in the driveway or the garage, which again, those are issues that I knew were gonna be a thing, and I created the problem. So it is what it is. But I was just talking about a couple other things, just options and things like that. I'm gonna try and make a video of an actual walk around inside the vehicle this weekend, just to look at a couple of things in case anyone's curious about the layout and what things actually look like inside, instead of just me talking to you while I go to work every day. But there's a lot of nice options. We'll just start with a couple of simple things. The screen's really nice. The actual UI screen for your nav slash everything else. It's pretty big. I want to say it's about 8 inches, maybe a 7.5 or 8 inch screen. It's really nice. It's pretty responsive. It moves pretty well. On the Jeep, I mean, granted, we're talking about technology between 5 years, between the 2012 Jeep and this thing, but the old screen on the Jeep, it just, it's older technology, so it's a little sluggish, moving back and forth. This is pretty responsive. I would say it's up there with like a tablet response-wise. Android Auto is really responsive through the screen. I did notice that my older phone was kind of going south, so it was running slower and it was kind of bogged down. And I mean, I work a phone hard because that's for my job. I'm always on a phone talking to people and emailing. So I think we kind of wear phones out faster than a lot of people. But that phone was in bad shape, and I think you could see it. You could tell definitely through the interface when you had it hooked up. Whereas this new phone has nothing on it, has maybe 10 apps installed. It's a brand new baby, and it runs like a champ. So it's a lot more responsive than the old one was. So if you get one of these and you hook your phone up and it's kind of clunky, it could be that. But the screen's really, really nice. It's a touch screen. You can slide back and forth. So it's not just touch screen or buttons. You can actually slide pages back and forth and up and down. It will disable things on you if you're driving, which I get it, safety, but it'll actually let you, if you try to scroll through the songs or menus or whatever you're trying to do, it'll actually say, hey, this is disabled because you're driving. It's like, well, why did you even let me scroll once to begin with? Just tell me you can't do that because you're driving. Subplot, what if I have a passenger? Can they not do it? But I don't know, maybe it disables that when the passenger airbag is activated and it knows there's a person next to you. I'll have to test that out and see. I just thought of that. So that screen's really nice. I'm enjoying that. One thing that's a little weird is it does have a lot of redundancy on the screen between what controls you physically have versus what you have on the screen. Like, you've got controls for the seats, the seat air conditioning, the heat, AC, everything like that through the touch screen, but you've also got knobs at the bottom for it. Same thing with volume, and same thing with, you know, the radio controls. I don't know, it's just one of those weird things. It's like having, you know, you've got two on-off buttons, which, I mean, I guess that's so that, you know, people that maybe don't, you know, are scared of technology, don't have to try and navigate through the system, and I guess it's also to keep you from having to click through pages to get back and forth to whatever you want to do. But I don't know, just it's an odd thing to have duplicates of to me. But otherwise, it's really nice. It's a good interface. The Sync 3 is pretty impressive. Syncing the phone up was really easy. The Jeep was kind of a beast about that. It would flake out and maybe not see the phone or maybe not connect, and then you get in the car and it would just not recognize that it was there. This thing's pretty good about picking your phone up. The sync process was super quick. Just make the phone discoverable and tell the truck what you want to do, and then, you know, there it is, and you're hooked up. So that's pretty nice. It's got the power outlet, the 12 volt and the AC 110 with like a 400 watt max, I want to say, on the front of the dashboard here, right next to the stereo. This little flip up panel. So you can have an actual wall socket plug-in, or you could plug in like a cigarette lighter charger, which is pretty nice. There's also one right here on the back of the console, somewhere right here. I think it turns side. Yeah, it's right there. That same thing, which is pretty nice. I'm on call all the time, so there may come a time where I need to hook my laptop up in the truck, you know, or I may need to actually work, and I can sit in the back and let my girlfriend drive if we're on the road or something. And that'll be kind of cool to actually have a decent power source to run things. You know, I could actually run something useful out of my car, and I can run from multiple locations. So that's a pretty decent feature. I'm really impressed with that. I'm excited to use that as well. Got 6 auxiliary switches pre-wired. I think I've mentioned that before, but it's got 6 of them. The switches they're actually really nice. They've got a good feel to them. They're solid. I still don't know what I'm going to hook up to 6 of them. I figure a couple of light bars will go to at least a couple of them, and I haven't decided if I want to be that guy with a semi-horn on his truck or not. I kind of don't think I want to, but there's the jerk in me that says, yes, you need to have a semi-horn, and then there's the real jerk in me that says, why don't you just get a train horn and stop being a baby? But I don't know if I'll do either one of those yet. But I've got 6 auxiliary switches to figure out something to do with. I don't honestly know what you're supposed to put on 6 of them. If anyone has a suggestion, please let me know. I've got about 2 in my head that I can think of other than a horn, and that would be, say, a front and rear light bar. That's all I've got. I'm not putting a light bar on top. A friend of mine that runs a 4x4 shop advised against doing that. He said just because of wind noise. And again, I'm not off-roading this truck really, so I'll be driving it around the city and the highway and on road trips and stuff, and I really don't want to hear, you know, the whoosh of wind rushing over my KC lights. So, but if you have suggestions on things to hook up to auxiliaries that I haven't thought of, that aren't roof lights, let me know, because I'm super curious what people are putting on theirs. Maybe it's something cool that I haven't even thought of. And so anyway, like I said, leave a comment, let me know, and I'll take a look at it. So that's pretty nice. The steering wheel is actually really comfortable. The steering wheel has, I guess I could just call them grips, honestly, on the back sides, where you can actually hold onto the steering wheel instead of it just being like a cylindrical all the way around. So it's actually got some contour to it. Then it's got like textured leather along the touch points on the side, and then the top and bottom are smoother, you know, fancy leather, I guess you would say. Plus, it's got this orange divider at the top of the steering wheel, which, from what I've read, is to help you keep track of where your wheel is centered, and you know which way your wheel's pointing. I guess if you're in the dirt and driving around in the sand, and you know visibility is nil, so I'm sure I'll use that all the time. Steering wheel's really nice though. The controls are backwards from what I'm used to. My volume control and stuff was on the left. Now it's on the right, so brain's trying to get used to that. And the cruise control stuff's on the other side too. There's a button on the steering wheel that sets the mode up or down, and the modes are, you know, what is it? It's like normal, sport, weather, mud and sand, Baja, and rock crawl. Each one's going to put your truck into something different as far as tunes and gear changes, and then which drive it's in. It just depends on what you want to do. Baja mode is for actually, I think, like kind of like a Baja on dirt or, you know, sand, kind of going full out, because it leaves the turbos open so that you get a little better throttle response, and it's kind of weird, but I threw it in there for a minute. And then the other ones are pretty self-explanatory, you know, regulars just driving around town. Sports, you know, tunes it up a little bit, and the exhaust note changes, which I haven't determined if that's real or piped in. The exhaust note changes, and you stay in gears a little bit longer. Shift points all change, so that's what that does. Mud and snow, and weather. They're obviously for weather and mud and snow and things. And then rock crawl, I think, actually limits the speed of the vehicle to, I want to say, sub 20 or sub 30 miles an hour, and you know, so you can potentially throw your $70,000 truck off a cliff if you want to. So those are all the modes it has. One thing I had read about, and I haven't tested out, is I think they said that you can't switch. I don't know if it's specifically Baja or all modes, that you can't switch modes while accelerating. So if I floor it and go start switching modes, which again, it may only be Baja mode, but it will throw the car into like I think they call like a limp home mode, which limits the car to like 30 miles an hour, and you can't get out of it unless you stop the vehicle. I think you actually have to stop the vehicle and put it in park, or turn it off and turn it back on to get out of it. So something to be mindful of. I guess that's just to keep you from, you know, going along at 70 miles an hour, flooring it, and then throwing it into Baja mode, and this turbos spool open, and, you know, whoops, maybe that causes a problem. So that's interesting. It's got paddle shifters on the steering wheel, which, I'll be real honest, I don't like them. I mean, honestly, I don't want them. I don't paddle shift. I didn't paddle shift my Jeep. It's clunky. I don't need to do it. The truck does it for me. I don't need to shift it. They're nice. I'll say that. They have a nice texture to them. They're not an eyesore. I mean, they're big. I mean, I'll show you in the next video where I go through the truck a little bit more in detail. But I haven't bumped them with my hands yet, which I did that with the Jeep a few times, and I would just, you know, suddenly be down a gear and wondering why. But I just don't use them. I kind of wish they were a delete option, you know, or I wish they had two options. They have these giant paddles for, you know, cool dudes that want to do this, and then maybe they could have a smaller paddle for people that don't want to do it but don't want to lose the functionality of it, you know, as an option. But they're paddle shifters. So, but other than that, that's pretty much the steering wheel. It's not bad. I like it. It's got the, you know, telescoping up and down, in and out on the side here on a little disc, which is kind of hard to find. I'm used to a big, like, dial sticking out on one side, but it's right up against the left side of the column. You kind of have to look for it, but it's pretty nice. I haven't really set my steering wheel up perfectly for me, or I haven't really set my seat up totally exactly how I'm going to have it, but I will get around to that at some point. It's got the tow assist dial, which you put a sticker on the neck of the trailer you're trying to park, and tell it, you know, hey, I want to go into trailer park mode. And what it'll do is it'll go through some prompts, and you put the car in reverse. And instead of having, this has always been a problem for me parking a truck with a trailer on it, I end up in an L, just, and it's just something that's always escaped me as something to be able to do. I don't know why, it's basically like building a space shuttle to me to park a trailer. Some of you out there are probably pros at it, and you don't even need the trailer backup option, but then there's some of you like me that struggle with it, or just don't want to take 20 minutes every time you want to park a trailer. You want to get it done. Well, this thing, you put it in the trailer backup mode, and it registers that sticker that you put on the neck of the trailer, looks at it through the camera, and then it dumbs it down to telling you, well, where do you want the trailer to go? And you have a dial right here that you say left or right with. So if I want the trailer to go right, I go to the right. Well, the truck's going to translate that for me and figure out what it needs to do to get the trailer to do what I want it to do. So I don't have to think about, if I turn this way, the trailer's going to go that way, but the truck's going to go this way, and now I'm in an L. So that'll be nice. I won't use that very often because I don't pull trailers. But if I ever do, at least I'll have it, and I can save myself a half hour of, getting a truck in an L shape. So that's nice. It's got a trailer brake. I believe that's the trailer brake down here. I think it's a trailer brake assist or something right below that. And it's got power mirrors on both sides that fold in. I'm going to work on trying to get those as a automatic option when I put it in park using ForeScan software to change the settings on that. I just got to order the adapter and get the software and screw around with it. And what else? It's got the Bang & Olufsen sound system in it. My girlfriend's 2017 Edge she just bought has the Sony system in it, and it's not really that big of a difference. I don't think it's not discernible. I'm sure someone out there can probably, and figure out that there's an audio difference. I'm not an audiophile. I mean, I can tell if a system's hot garbage, but if you put two decent systems together, I can't point out the nuance. I just can't. But it's really nice. It sounds really good. I've listened to it through a range of different types of music, from rap, rock, to country, to that Russian guy doing the sound with his mouth. I've listened to it through a whole bunch of things. And that's Vitas, by the way, and go look him up. It's hilarious. Vitas. You'll know him when you see him because he's wearing a space suit and he's making noises. But it sounds really good. A lot of people in the forums were complaining about here on the dashboard. There's like a little pocket where you can put your snacks or whatever you got, and then there's a speaker behind it in the dead center of the console that's got the Bang & Olufsen logo on it, and it looks like a button. People have been complaining about that, and it's whatever. It's not a button. It's just a symbol. It'll be okay. It's not the end of the world. But it doesn't do anything. It doesn't move. It doesn't pop open. So don't push it and try to break it, because that's what'll happen. And then it's also got three memories for the driver's seat. The passenger seat, I don't believe now, it doesn't have any memory seating. Air conditioned seats. It actually has air conditioning pumped into it. It's not just air. It's an actual air conditioning vent pumped into your butt, which is really nice. I got it on a car about 2 cars ago. Is the first time I got air conditioned seats, and I will never ever again in my life own a car that doesn't have air conditioned seats. It's such a funny option to obsess about, but once you have it, and especially here in the South, where, I mean, if you live anywhere in the Mid-South, it's about 50,000 hells hot here sometimes, and pumping air-conditioned air into your butt and up your lower back is worth its weight in gold. I don't know what that option costs, but whatever it is, it's worth it. And it's pretty responsive. It's got controls down here at the bottom of the console. It's got 3 levels of fan, up from 2 on the Jeep, improvement. So that's nice. I use it all the time. It also remembers it. So if you get out of your car and you go, do whatever you do and get back in it, and you had your air conditioned seat on, it kicks it back on again, which that was one thing about the Jeep. It was a goldfish, it seemed like, and if you got out of the car, it forgot everything that you just did. But also, again, we're talking about 5 or 6 years of technology difference. So what are you going to do? The gear shift is actually pretty nice. It's got a plus and minus button on the side, so you can shift with it in manual mode. Camera just decided it was done. So back seat's flat, 120-pound puppy fits in it really well. Well, I'm assuming he fits in it really well. He hasn't actually been in it yet because I don't need him dogging up my truck just yet. Not until I've got it prepared for him. But he was a big reason why I got an F150, just because the floor is flat and they don't have a transmission hump. Pretty nice feature. The back seats go up and down really easily. They've got a handle on the bottom to unlock them. I guess it's so that they can go up and lock so they don't just fall down randomly. And it's got a little storage compartment underneath the back seat, which you can buy an add-on for that to expand it if you want. I don't know that I'll bother with any of that. I still have to look into a bed cover. I don't know if I want to do one of those aluminum telescopic ones. I need to check and see if that makes a lot of noise. And just how it looks on the car, but I think I want to get a cover for it. But granted, it's lined, but I want it more for traveling, so that we don't have to clutter the whole back seat up with, suitcases and whatnot, and we can just put stuff in the back and lock it. So I got to look into that. The tailgate step's pretty cool. If you don't know what that is, go look it up, and I'll also throw that in the next video where we'll show how the step works. But basically, it's a step inside the tailgate that you pop it out and a step comes out, so when the tailgate's open, it drops a step down, so there's a step between you and the tailgate to get in the bed. But it also has a handle that slides out of the tailgate and comes up so that you can hold on to it to climb up in the back of the truck. And I want to say it's got a weight limit of like 350 or 370 pounds, so it'll hold something. I mean, you could carry something and get up in the truck with it. That'll be kind of cool, I think. I mean, climbing in and out of a truck bed is not the most fun, especially if you're trying to do something. And I'm getting old. I mean, I'm 38, and I'm moving around pretty well still. But at some point, something's going to start to give, and I'm going to probably appreciate some of those features a little more. But it was only about $375 to add it to the truck, so worth tossing in there, I think. Tailgate's also hydraulic, so it won't auto open, but it'll auto down, and it's not just it doesn't just close and fall. It actually lowers it gracefully. So that's kind of cool. You can do it from the remote as well, and it's pretty useful. I don't know why they don't have an auto up. I guess that would require a whole nother mechanism to pull it back up instead of easily releasing it. But the bed liner is like a Rhino line. It's actually really nice. It's the same thing that's covering the step on the side of the truck, so it matches that. It's really nice. The step on the side of the truck, I'm a little leery of, just because I'm a big guy, so I'm kind of conscious of stepping on things and my weight on things, but I stand on it and I can feel it bow a little bit, but it's not. I think that's just I think that's normal, and I don't think it's going to bend. I mean, my weight's not going to increase, I don't think, hopefully, but I can feel that it bends a little bit. I'm sure there's some really big dudes out there that 350, 400 pounds. You guys might stress it out. You might actually bend it. I don't know. I feel like at my size, I'm on the cusp, of it being a problem for that bar, but I could be wrong. I'm hypersensitive to, my size and weight on things. I don't want to break anything. So, but we're at work now, so I'm gonna go inside and look at some stuff and look at the things about the truck, find some more stuff to talk about. If you have any questions, options you want to know about, let me know. Again, auxiliary switches. if you got something cool that I haven't even thought of that I should put on an auxiliary switch, let me know, and I will check it out. If you got a suggestion for light bars, let me know. I'll check it out. Anyway, we're here at work, so I'm going to go inside and do the work thing. So again, Petco, PetSmart, would you like to give a couple of bucks? Yes. It's $1 or $2, and you can skip, you know, one Diet Mountain Dew this month and make some poor animal's day, you know. So why don't you do that? And while you're at it, try not to be a jerk. So take care. Have a